Then I can figure out what my boundary is around the news. Start off by just bathing in lemon eucalyptus, and we'll go from there.
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too.
All right, Heather, what are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about lemon eucalyptus today, and we were just having a fun conversation about this one.
What's funny is, I like this oil. I use this generally just in the diffuser because I think it's a clean, uplifting smell, and so I'll just do it to have my house smell like it's cleaned, even if it's not cleaned. That trick works very well. But right before we hit record, we were talking about the emotional benefits of this, and I'm so excited about this oil. I for sure need this oil. You for sure need this oil. I think most people listening, if they're living in this world, need this oil.
Yes.
So do you want to share what the emotional benefits are, or even share a little bit from your book?
Sure. So this is from Essential Emotions, and it basically talks about how lemon eucalyptus creates a protected space around individuals. So when we are overly exposed to energetic forces, that can leave us disoriented and less effective. So it says lemon eucalyptus helps individuals recognize when they need to create more effective boundaries and maintain their personal space.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is so timely for us to be reading about this because I for sure need healthier boundaries. I think I have boundaries, and then things pop up where it's very clear I don't have good boundaries in place. And over the last week, a few things have popped up, specifically in my workspace. But what I've realized is I can't show up well for my patients and clients if I don't have boundaries to protect my own energy so that I can show up with the right energy for them. And so literally, as you were reading that, I'm applying this oil all over my body, gave myself a little foot massage with it, keeping the bottle open so I can smell it. Like, I really need healthy boundaries right now. And if there's an oil that's going to help me enforce that so I show up better for people, even better.
So this is aromatic and topical use. It has that very clean smell. Like you were saying, it smells a little bit, not like a bug spray in my mind, but maybe like a lemon eucalyptus citronella candle or something that you would use outside to deter bugs. So now I'm thinking this is also about deterring those negative energies and just that overstimulation of other energies as well. So interestingly enough, I have been told I am currently co-president of my daughter's school's volunteer parent association. And I was recently told by the other co-president how impressed she is with my ability to maintain my boundaries. I will say, this is the time that I'm available for. And when that time's up, I say, okay, I'm going to leave. This is the end of my time, and I leave. And she's like, I feel like I'm always sucked into feeling like I need to stay longer to do this. She's like, you're so good about saying, here's where I'm available, and then you're done. Like once you say you're not available anymore. And I feel like you have inspired me in that way over the years because I feel like you are somebody that is very good at boundaries. So you might not be to the standard that you want or expect, but I feel like you are one of the best people that I know that is able to maintain those boundaries. And I'm constantly inspired by that. I feel like my son is pretty good about boundaries already at 13. He has some non-negotiables that he feels like are important when it comes to him playing high-level soccer. And so that means he wants a good night's sleep. He wants to eat healthy. And so if the rest of the team is going to be staying out late and going somewhere that's got, food that's not maybe what he is thinking he gets served best by, then he'll just say, no, he doesn't have fear of missing out or anything. Like he is just going to hold his boundaries. Interestingly enough, I was having a similar conversation with a parent of my daughter's best friend recently, and she was saying that they've really been working on personal policy. And I was like, ooh, I really like that terminology for that middle school age.
Yeah, that's really brilliant. And also for kids specifically, like lets them know that you should have personal policies and that it's okay to have that.
Yes.
And even opens up the conversation because I'm sure there's instances where it's not an okay personal policy as well. Like,
yes,
it's my personal policy to eat only sugar,
Yes. That's where maturity comes in. So there has to be a little bit of maturity in that conversation too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and going back to your compliment of my boundaries, I appreciate that. I feel the same way towards you, but I think the difference is we have boundaries in different areas. So
Mm.
I'm more like your son, where I've got boundaries around food because I know it's going to make me feel bad. But timing, I'm really bad at. And so I love the fact that you can do that.
When I was reading the emotional benefits of this one, and the boundaries word really resonated with you, but I was thinking about just kind of the overwhelm of information and the state that we live in now. I listen to the news on the radio. I watch a little bit of news in the morning, but I am not engulfed in the news all day long because I feel like there's so many negative stories now that I feel like it just starts to eat at me after a while. So this oil kind of really felt like it came in handy right now too, just because I feel like all of the news is just so negative right now that, maybe if I start feeling like I'm getting too much of that information, I can pull out this lemon eucalyptus and just feel a little bit more positively energetic, that I don't have to sit there and listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so good. That reminded me, right now, Brené Brown has a podcast and it's focused on her latest book, which I can't remember the name of. But in there, she was talking to the co host of the current show, and she was saying that she has a personal boundary that she will not consume news in any form other than writing
Oh,
because, basically TV shows, YouTube, any of that, the visuals are there to grab your attention. And then that grab of attention creates some type of emotion. And so she has learned that just by reading the news, she gets a much better view of what's going on without the emotions that then impact her mood. And I was like, that's brilliant. Now, granted, I haven't started reading the news, but I think it's a really good practice for people who do feel like they are being thrown off base. And again, an example of a good boundary to put in place for yourself so you stay informed without being sucked in or impacted by negative news or things that are viewed as negative because they've put the most shocking images along with it,
I will say that there is still print that is capable of doing that. I mean, for how
Yeah.
long have magazines or newspapers put the headlines in a way that it wants to grab your
Hmm.
attention? And I'm assuming that depending on what your source of written news is, it can still be negatively
Well,
biased.
and she did say that she reads 3 different newspapers a day, which I was thinking, you've got way more time than I do. But specifically to try to avoid the bias and get different perspectives, which again, I think is really cool. If you got the time for that and the energy for that, then awesome. Versus I'll just bury my head in the sand and
That's your
not be
boundary,
as
Meg.
informed.
That's your personal policy. That's okay.
I don't know that that's a boundary or a policy. That's just maybe once I get my other boundaries in place and then have free time to potentially consume news, then I can figure out what my boundary is around the news. Start off by just bathing in lemon eucalyptus and we'll go from there. Well, some of the other uses for this oil, so I guess that should be important to say as well. Even though it's lemon eucalyptus, it's a single plant. In fact, we have grown lemon eucalyptus before in our backyard. This oil can be used for bug repellent. So, Heather, you were kind of right on when you said it smells like that. It can be used for that. But it also can be used for GI health. And so, if you think about the bugs that are potentially in your GI tract, it can help getting rid of those as well.
You've been putting it in the diffuser for that clean scent, but you can use it directly on surfaces. This is another one that I've put on the bottom of my mop cloth attachment. I think I was talking about that a couple episodes ago. And so,
Yeah.
yes, this is really good at cleansing as well. Skin or surfaces, except I'm not sure if I would want to put this one on my face.
I don't think there's anything wrong with putting it on your face. And I think I read somewhere that it can be used on the face, like is recommended for cleansing. So, yeah, I think that's just a personal preference thing, but it's not a risk thing.
Because it is not sun sensitive.
No,
It is not like a citrus oil that is sun sensitive. Okay.
right. It's a leafy green plant, just like eucalyptus is a leafy green plant too. So, yeah. All right. Well, anything else on lemon eucalyptus?
This is not an oil that I use all the time, but I absolutely love when oils like this just lead to a much broader conversation and how useful this actually is.
For sure. For sure. All right. Well, we hope that you found this interesting and helpful as well. And next week, we'll be talking about lemongrass. So tune in for that.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.